WBZ News Times 8:03. Traffic every 10 minutes. Rick Simonson, what do you have for us?
Well, not a bad ride, actually, Gary. North of town, Route 3 South is fine from the border to 128. Route 1 South, the usual light cycle delay.
How do you dig an 8-lane highway tunnel directly under the downtown area of one of the busiest cities in America? And how do you do it without disrupting the daily life of that city? It would be like a mechanic giving your car a full service as you're driving along the freeway. Impossible? You would think so. But it's just been done. Boston, home to the Big Dig, one of the largest, most technically challenging and expensive public works projects in American history. When it's complete, it'll have cost nearly $15 billion, taken 20 years, and changed the face of one of America's oldest cities.
It's a collection of mega projects. It's like a mega project.
But the Big Dig is more than a giant construction project. This is a story of dogged determination and the sheer audacity to think the unthinkable. But the engineers will make mistakes.
I can assure everybody that there is not a 3'9" gap in the Ted Williams Tunnel.
They will narrowly avoid disaster.
To this day, we still don't know exactly what happened.
And they will go head-to-head with the local community.
I don't want anything from you except what is due me, and that is 8 hours sleep a night.
Boston lies on the east coast of America and is the capital city of the state of Massachusetts. Here in the heart of the city is one of the most exclusive car parks in America. This state-of-the-art facility used to be an eyesore, an ugly, functional concrete box. But in 1988, it was demolished, and at a cost of $80 million, this ultra-modern parking garage replaced it underground. What's left above ground is this: Post Office Square, a privately run city park with manicured lawns and live music. The ethos behind the rejuvenation of Post Office Square is simply that some things in life are worth paying for. Now try doing that to a 2-mile-long 6-lane highway and you get an idea of the Boston Big Dig. The city of Boston is modernizing a massive chunk of its transport system. Instead of a parking garage, this time the city is tearing down an entire elevated roadway built in the 1950s and replacing it underground with a state-of-the-art highway tunnel. The space created will provide 27 acres of public parks, plazas, and open spaces. Boston is one of America's oldest cities, built long before the age of the car. In 1692, it was the wealthiest town in the American colonies. In 1776, the city was liberated from the British, and by 1875, 340,000 people lived in this thriving metropolis. But by the early 20th century, motorized traffic is crowding the city's narrow streets. And by the 1950s, the car is strangling the city. A solution has to be found. Over the next decade, Boston is brutally redeveloped. A network of new roads is built through the heart of residential areas, displacing 20,000 people. The main feature of this so-called progress is an elevated 6-lane expressway that rips its way through the heart of Boston.
A structure like that was considered to be a sexy thing. Cars are up in the sky, people are down on the ground. with the logic that you could drive into the city on this elevated expressway and you could drive off the ramps, park directly below it, and walk to your job.
The reality, however,